we're going to talk today about a new wing that's coming. Kind of a few people have been asking questions, and a lot of you have been asking questions. So I guess it's starting to make its way out into the wild a little bit. Some of our testing wings. So we figured it was just time to kind of share with you. I think we're getting close to going public with it anyway. So now's a good time to be talking about it. This is the saw. It is a new 7-cell or 21-cell cross brace wing we've been working on. It is similar in some ways to the Airwolf 2 and different in others. Kind of fed off of that project and us wanting to keep that vein of flying moving along, but with some changes based off of some of our athlete feedback on the Airwolf 2 and some of their needs and what they were looking to do. And then we were able to incorporate some of the things we've been able to learn since that project. So it's always fun to keep growing and learning, and this is just part of this continual evolution. Saw is very similar in plan form and line plan to the Airwolf 2. We took some of the things we learned about airfoils and lift distributions, and we incorporated that off of the HK3. We incorporated some of the build techniques that we learned on the HK3 into this. And we've come out with a wing that's pretty unique. I think it's fun, and I think it is going to end up sunsetting one of our other products just because they end up competing in the same niche a little bit. But I just wanted to kind of give everyone a sneak peek here of what we're working on. So I'll show you kind of, here's our model of it. And like the HK3, this project is going to be in, it is going to have the logo sewn into the top surface. So it is going to be in limited color patterns based off of that. At this point, we've flown every size. We have every size, and we like them. We like how they fly. We're fine-tuning a couple small things on each of them, like brake settings and things like that. But by and large, they're in what will be their final form already. So we've been working on this project now for about a year and a half, somewhere in that range. We worked on a lot of different materials on the project and kind of arrived at FT30 is the right one for this. Some of those materials are, some are going to maybe get retired. Some of the other materials we worked on are going to move on to further testing in other projects. But I don't think they're ready for release in this project yet. Construction wise, it is pretty unique in the way it's built. It's somewhere between how we would build an Airwolf 2 and how we built the HK3. The top surface is all multiple panels, logos sewn in. The pilot chute attachment is fairly unique. It's got a split leading edge. It is true cell construction on the top surface, true cell on the bottom, but we did put the bottom seams on the outside on this one. That allows us to use a standard line tab, which means that maintenance will be a little bit easier on some of them. The line plan is fairly similar to the Airwolf 2. It does have the triple cascade at the rear, and it is a hybrid line set coming out. The stock line set on these are going to be it's going to be available in Vectran if people want it, but the stock is going to be the Edelrid Technora or HMA line set with a 600-pound inner two lines, A and B, and then the rest will be 400-pound. Materials are all FT30 at this point. And yeah, that's the beast. I'll show you guys kind of, I think one of these is probably even from today. Let me take out a flight and I'll just show you how it flies a little bit. And then we'll start just taking questions and stuff. You get to see my ugly mug. So turn down the volume here. I'll talk over it a little bit while flying. This wing is not meant to handle like a Airwolf 2. It is a little, it's going to feel a lot different to the average pilot. It flies pretty similarly on rear risers. The harness inputs are a little muted compared to the Airwolf 2. The Airwolf 2 can be pretty responsive, maybe overly responsive for people who want to do freestyle and stuff like that. The toggle response is pretty similar. It does have a little less adverse response in the beginning stages of the toggle inputs. The rear riser, the swoop on the recovery arc is pretty unique. It's not like the Airwolf 2. It's not like the HK3, and it's not like a Werewolf. It's kind of got its own unique feel. It dives pretty good. The rear risers are really powerful, but they've got a spot, you'll see somewhere right around here, not a lot. And there's a spot here where they get really powerful. There's a lot of power there. And you can take them pretty deep. But there is an initial, it's not a linear response. It ramps up. And somewhere, ooh, that's not a good look for me. Somewhere in there, it's got its maximum response a little bit into the rears. Some of that's intentional. Some of the harness response is intentional, and that is so that for freestyle people that want to do tricks and stuff like that, it's not twitchy, and that you don't overcorrect really easily. We wanted to keep the dive and keep the speed up, but it does not sink through the recovery. So the recovery is a little more defined than say the Airwolf 2. The Airwolf 2 will continue to sink. Makes getting, if you're starting high, makes getting down pretty easy. This one will continue to dive, but it's easier to round out that recovery and have a nice defined recovery there so that you can set it and start to do stuff. We've done reinforcement patches on all the attachments at the, as you can see here on all the wingtips and out at the brake attachments. It's an airfoil that's really similar to the HK2 airfoil, but the lift distribution is a lot more like the HK3. And the way I've been describing it to our test pilots that are flying it originally here is, hey, like, imagine the Airwolf 2 and the HK3 had a baby. The style is going to feel a lot like that, without as much dive from both. So it's super fun. It's unique. And right now, I find myself gravitating towards it, not just because it's the current project that we're working on, but because I actually really, really like flying it. It ticks a lot of boxes for me. And I'm seeing other people do the same, people that have the choice between this and some of the other stuff we'll work on. Even HK3s, like for fun old flying, sometimes this is all fun without some of the headaches of super high performance. Yeah, so I just wanted to tell the world about it. It's a neat new fun wing. I can't guarantee exactly when it's coming. I think if things continue to move like they are, we'll be making announcements here very soon. But you never know. It's not over till the fat lady sings, and so we've got to continue going through everything. But at this point, we've flown everything, and we like it. The initial release will be 67, 71, 75, 79, 84, 90. And we may add a 64 and we may add a 96 depending on requests and what people want. Super fun, super just all around. If I had to pick one parachute right now, this would be it. It does pack, it's FT30, so it packs a little bit bigger, but I'm finding that I'm kind of a ninja packer, so I can get anything in my 306, my Vector 306. So I was putting the 90 in. I'm not sure everybody could do that. it is packing smaller than HK2 or HK3 in similar sizes. What else? Is there anything specific you guys would like to know now? I'd like to start moving towards what your curiosities are and what you're interested in learning about it. All right. I need to set so I can see the comments. Hold on one sec, guys. Oh, what does SOL stand for? I don't know. I don't know what it stands for. It was going to be something Airwolf at one point, and I put it down in a holder for a placeholder for the project, and it morphed and it stuck. So like Airwolf stuck, we didn't mean for it to be a project name, but it's kind of stuck. Terminal openings, so far we're really liking them, John. It's, you know, Gil and Rafa have been jumping a version of this. Gil, Rafa, and Mike Brewer were kind of the driving force behind this project. They all had 67 Airwolf 2s, and we're like, yeah, we love it, but what about this? And what about this? And so that's how this started. And so those guys have all been jumping at terminal since then. I actually, much like the Airwolf 2, I like the terminal openings on this a little bit better than the subterminal. I haven't taken all the sizes terminal yet, but I've jumped every size right now. So so far, really similar openings to the Airwolf 2. So Rafa says they're great in my opinion.
Guys, you can unmute yourself if you want to just ask questions instead of typing now.
Okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
So you said the construction, so like a cell being the fabric between a line group. The top surface has 3 panels and the bottom surface has 3 panels. And the bottom's all external.
It's true cell construction. So
Okay.
there's hundreds and hundreds of panels in this parachute. So built a lot more like the HK3 than anything else.
Okay, interesting. And all the seams on the bottom are external, or just the ones where the loaded cells are?
Most people won't be able to tell the difference, but if you started digging into it, looking at it, it doesn't look that different on the bottom surface. But it's built somewhat like I said, it's built more hybrid between the Airwolf and the HK3. So it's I didn't count the top surface panels. I think it's in the 80 panels for the top surface, somewhere in that range. So yeah,
wow. All right.
All about
Thank
shaping
you.
and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the performance gap. This isn't really meant to bridge that. It may or may not. This was more meant to appease the guys who really wanted a freestyle parachute to do stuff like what they've been doing and to kind of fill a need. The Airwolf 2 we kind of designed in a way to meet a certain niche in the market, and it's not always the same as what I would pick for my personal desires, and so some of this is my desire to tack some of that into that, and a lot of it is the driving force between the athletes I mentioned who are just like, hey, look, we really want this, and listening to them and trying to give them that. So I'll let people out there decide whether it fits the gap or not. That's really tough to say sometimes.
The reason I asked is I'm on the same page with Mike and Gil about like gear line swooping and not doing big powerful turns, and the Airwolf 2 does not handle that. So I would want something that has a bit of a shorter recovery arc with more powerful rears, but something that's also in ZP so that I can put it in my tiny rig.
No, this isn't that then. This is full FT30. There will be no ZP versions. It's going to be full FT30, a couple color options.
Okay.
So, you know, there's a lot of, if you want the powerful, good recovery arc like that, you want that clean defined recovery arc, you get competing priorities there, and so you need to make a choice sometimes. Is do I really want the flight performance or the pack volume? And you don't always get both. I always pick flight performance. My response to most people would be to maybe consider that when you're picking your container, and don't buy a parachute to fit your container. Buy a container to fit the parachute you want to fly. But that's me. So everyone does it a little bit different. This all the things you're talking about, great beer line, great all that. It's fast. It does dive still quite a bit, but it's still, when you get it level, it levels out and it gives a nice defined recovery. So yeah. Any other questions?
Scott, hi, this is Johnny here.
Hello.
I joined a little late. I don't know if you already talked about this because of the little graph I saw, but is it being designed or anything with the mutant in mind, or is it completely apart from it, like
No,
in terms of the flight?
it does nicely with mutant. We tried to find something that would do a little bit of both and that would perform well in the mutant. And what we're seeing is it's not boosting crazy bad with the mutant. The rears, we have a couple different line trims, but the line trim we're going to go with is pretty intuitive. Seems to give people the ability to keep it down. I mean, you're probably not going to take it to a competition with the mutant, not a world level comp, but it's not meant for that. Like I said, it's kind of got some of the flavor in some of those behaviors as the HK3 a little bit. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
try and fly it. Like, I know we've got Jenkins is flying it on the mutant. We've got I think Dylan flew it on the mutant last week. So we've got a few people that are already putting it on that. Jeremy's also flown it on his supine or seated harness, I guess. So we did some testing a while back prior to putting it out to the guys with the mutants to make sure, and we think it's a good mix. Kind of spans that gap where it still does a lot of the ability. When you lay it over, you can keep it down, but it dives and everything's. We're trying to balance all those competing interests, and I think we're in a good spot.
Awesome. Is it supposed to, like, comparing it to the werewolf being like the full FT30? Is it considered to be like in between the werewolf and HKs, or more similar to the werewolf?
So we're gonna drop the werewolf. This is gonna put it out of business. Werewolf's kind of carry some baggage with it because it kind of got some overhype that unfortunately some people got spun up in and didn't meet all the hype, and so kind of this does a lot of everything that it does but better, in my opinion. They're still werewolf's still a pretty awesome parachute. I can't tell you for sure, and Jed and I were sitting in the testing room this morning trying to figure out whether we could say it's better in all accounts. And to be perfectly honest, it's been long enough that since I've jumped the werewolf that I can't tell you exactly that it's better in every account. I can tell you that this has so much more advancements in it, aerodynamically, opening wise, things we've been working on for years that I personally would never consider the two as equals. This is clearly all 10 different reasons why I think it's better. But I think even just the average person who took a blindfolded flight on it would choose this too, in my opinion. So again, all of this always kind of boils down to taste too. Sometimes, you're cooking and you hope that you added enough salt for everybody that they like the flavor, because some of it goes down to flavor. So Somebody else is raising their hand. If you want to type it out or
Yes.
just hop in.
I got you, Scott. So is this going to be able to compete in the same division as the Airwolf?
No idea.
Yeah.
Can't tell you. I didn't even think about that when we were developing this. That is a question for the
ID, probably not, because
I-
speaking as a judge, this is the fabric will disqualify it being sale. That's traditionally been a dividing line. But
That's kind of what I was thinking.
yeah, that would be my expectation. But until somebody has a meeting about something, we can't tell you that.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the same reason that the werewolf is on the same category, I assume the same thing.
Correct.
And we've
Awesome. Well, I guess
taken it up and
we'll see
flown
what
it.
they say.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think Cole is probably right. They seem to be hung up on materials and construction and stuff for a lot of reasons, and it is what it is.
However, though, there's nothing saying that competitors cannot petition for a change in classification based on performance rather than fabric, because a fabric identifier is ridiculous, but it is what it is. So yeah, y'all unionize and go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down to fly one in a competition in advance next year, see what they say.
Don't
It's
tell me
fun
to
and-
do it if I'm there.
I think it would fit pretty nicely in that category, to be perfectly honest with you guys. So I can't tell you whether the rules or make sense or not. I haven't delved into that, but I can tell you that it's a lot of fun, and I think that level pilot is really going to enjoy this wing. It's just fun. So I've really enjoyed working on this, and we're not completely done, but man, it's been everything that I had hoped. And I find myself routinely choosing this now. Like I get a chance to jump whatever I want when we're testing, or I need to fill in some spots. I even choosing this over HK3 sometimes, just because it's easier to use. It gives me some of the same sensations as I get on the HK3. It's not as steep. Like we took them up and flew them side by side this week even, and they definitely aren't the same steepness, but a lot of flavor is similar. Like I jumped them back to back on Monday or Tuesday, and I like it. People that have been flying them seem to really like them too. So we're going to have demos pretty soon, and all the sizes as soon as we finalize each size. And definitely, if you're in the area, come try them. Any other questions?
Scott, did you see the question from Logan?
That was
Um,
answered, yeah.
On performance gap between the gangster, or am I missing questions?
No, that one. I wasn't sure if you had answered that one.
Yeah, he
Um,
did. Thank you,
okay.
Cola.
My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. This I wish we could say that there was some grand scheme of like fitting this into our lineup and trying to pick a special spot in the lineup where it was magically meant to fill a gap, but it wasn't. This was just done for fun because it's like, hey, look, a couple guys want this, and I kind of want that. Like, let's do it. And so, and we tend to steer a lot of our decisions that way here at Fluid. Like, is it fun? Do we like flying it? If we do, let's keep doing it. And this is that. Like, it's pretty awesome. I got to spend most of my year jumping this and the HK3, and so I've had a really fun year from an R&D standpoint, and done some of the most jumps I've done in R&D in a long time. So, and this is one of those, like I literally just landed less than an hour ago from a test jump on it, and I come down smiling each time with really good swoops, and it flies really intuitive to me. So, yeah. Any other questions? Anyone else? Anything that you'd like to add or subtract or inquire about? I don't think this isn't meant to be a super long presentation. It's just meant to share with you guys what we're on and where we're at with it, and kind of answer the what is it. You guys can see it's got the logo on the top surface, and so that's kind of fun too. I really like that. It will be in 2 color patterns, the blue and white, I believe, and then I have to check the other color pattern we picked, and I believe other color pattern is it's a pink and blue. I'm not sure exactly off the top of my head what it is. So, but the blue and white's going to be the standard color pattern at this point that we'll be rolling with on all our demos. Blue field, white logo, black leading edge, black cross braces, black mini ribs, white ribs. Looks really good, as you can see. It's kind of cool. We were able to incorporate a lot of the cross brace and the shaping stuff that we figured out on the 3 into this one. So if you have the desire and you're in the area right now, I will be letting people that are local start flying in the next couple of weeks, and then they will make their way into the demo fleet after that. And we'll make an announcement soon on production. I think we'll be turning production on these, I believe, before the end of the year, possibly even near a soon holiday. So I'm not entirely sure. It obviously all depends on as we go through each size and lock each size down. So there are some small adjustments that still need to be made to things like brake settings and things like that. But the big stuff, the flight characteristics, are all pretty defined at this point. So beyond that, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm gonna say keep your eyes tuned, or keep your ears tuned and your radar on, and watch for these. You're gonna see them. They're fun, and you get your hands on one. Be safe and enjoy. This will be a
No
lot
more
less.
questions anyway? Oh, look at that. You got clapped for.
Oh wow, look at that.
I
Boy,
haven't
can
noticed you that.
Oh, now we just got more claps. That's amazing.
Yeah, everybody tapped the button.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you taking the time. Oh,
Hang on, Rafa.
hop in,
No,
Rafa.
that was an accident. That was an accident. I'm
Are you
sorry.
trying to clap?
I do want to
I
take a
don't know.
second here and thank Rafa and Gil and Mike for hopping in and really, like, they jumped the good, the bad, and the ugly on this. Some were really good and some started out as pigs. So I think we've come a long way on the project. So not everyone wants to jump prototypes, and most people don't realize that most of prototype jumping is disappointment. Until you get to the final product, then you're like, oh wow. But usually it's suboptimal. So
I can speak for Gil. I don't probably Mike too. I mean, I think we always have fun with them all. Even the bad has some fun to look at, and yeah, I mean, it's been an honor to be a part of this, and I'm excited that other people are going to get to fly this thing soon.
yeah, me too. But thanks to you guys for all your help on it, and thanks for letting me know what it's I can't always guess what people want. So when people share with me like, hey, look, I want this. Most of the time it's like, well, maybe I can, but occasionally there's like, oh, I can do that. And it's really fun when it makes sense and there's a spot that we can definitely take care of. So
No, and again, Gil's not with me, but thank you for letting us, be heard about some stuff. And again, I think this swing is super awesome, super consistent, and yeah, excited to see what the other people in here, when they get to fly it, feel about it. But it's been an honor and awesome to feel like having a voice and opinion and with you guys has been great too. So thank you guys for that.
thank you. And you guys, everyone who's here you guys are the guys I'm listening to, trying to, the hardest part about developing and designing wings is not always the aerodynamics and stuff like that. Once you understand it, it's trying to guess what people want. What are, when you're deciding between two characteristics on a wing, sometimes giving one, you have to take from the other, like figuring out what the best give and take is sometimes the hardest decisions you make. So you guys don't have that way to do it, like share with us. We're interested in hearing your inputs. So thank you. And I will go ahead and let you guys go now, and we'll get on with a good weekend. And the Florida season is really kicking into full effect, and we look forward to seeing you guys come through town here.
And actually, guys, Kevin, if you would click on your video and unmute yourself.
He said he's been down that road before.
There he is.
Hello, how's everybody?
Doing good. We usually do an annual speed fly camp, late April, and that's the guy responsible for making all that happen. It's an invite only thing, and some of you guys have already been with us. It's in Utah, Salt Lake City. So if anybody is keen on coming and trying out some of our speed fly stuff and possibly get their rating done, this is the guy that will be organizing all that. So just putting a bug in your ear to keep end of April open and see what happens. And that's a fake heart miss. You're never coming. You always say you will, you never show.
Good deal. Thanks for lurking, Kev.
Yep, no problem.
He's been the driving force behind getting some of this altered construction methods and the way we've been building these things different. Kevin's got a big part in a lot of that, guys. So if you like the logos on your top surface, you can thank Kevin and Derek.
It sure is pretty.
Yeah. So, well, good work, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon. We're going to be doing, like I said, this is going to be a much more regular occurrence, both these internal ones and stuff like the aerodynamics that we did last week. We're going to keep these rolling. They're really beneficial, we think, and we love having the contact with you guys.
Sweet. And for those of you that popped in kind of late, we'll post the replay in the group here shortly, so you can catch up on all the stuff.
Good deal. All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.